Disclaimer: the following Boundless PodTrap episode contains strong opinions that some listeners may and will find offensive. If you cannot accept or respect others with a differing opinion from yours, then fuck off.
Rolling sound.
I like turtles.
Oh, my God. Let us see your war face.
Now, y'all ain't planning on fucking these chickens, are you?
Picture it. Sicily, 1920.
Aren't we fucking funny?
Streaming from the Midwest, right in the middle of the U.S. From Omaha, Nebraska, you're listening to the Boundless PodTrap, your entertainment podcast where we touch on all topics, from the crazy and absurd to the sacred and profane, and even the useless and unnecessary. The Boundless PodTrap knows no bounds. And now, here are your hosts.
Mom said respect my privacy.
What just happened?
I don't know. I'm scared.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Boundless PodTrap. I am your host, Lonnie. Fucking guy.
We'll see. Why's your pants down?
Just don't worry about my business.
Well, I am Justin, another host.
And that's Jeremy.
Just jump over. He's here. He's in the corner.
Yeah,
We put baby in the corner.
put baby in no corner.
Now where you put baby in the corner.
Is that baby's voice?
That's my Patrick Swayze impression.
Huh.
Mine's so much better than yours. My Patrick Swayze impression.
This is gonna be, if you're even going where I think you're going, don't do it.
Do you want to hear it?
Don't do it. If it's offensive, I'm not.
Jesus, I'm not even gonna do it then.
I feel like it's just another Bill Cosby.
Fuck you. You don't know me.
Oh, man.
Do it then. Do it.
Fine.
Is that?
Nobody puts the baby in.
Oh my God. All right. Sorry. Cut his mic now.
Okay, that's not what I thought he was gonna do. Oh.
Welcome to the Boundless PodTrap, everybody, where nothing makes sense and none of your answers are worth any points.
Boom. Episode 12, kicking it off. We're already into November. This is crazy.
Right, yeah.
Speaking of which, congratulations to both of you guys for making it through Sober October.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Now we're into No Nut November. Should be easy on my part.
Phil.
No nut.
You know, and for all the people in the Midwest who listen to this podcast, the Nebraska Cornhuskers have a better record than the Iowa Hawkeyes this year so far. Hawkeyes are 0-2. Huskers are only 0-1. So suck it.
Normally, I would talk all day about Husker football, but nope. I'm not supporting sports being played.
Nope.
Not during a pandemic.
No sports ball in this state.
Nope. All the freaking Nebraska fans, and that is one thing. Like,
Got him.
People always gave crap to Nebraska fans about being whiners and stuff like that, and I always defended them. But they are the biggest bunch of whiners out there. I don't consider myself that kind of Husker fan. They're whiners just like the Nebraska football team is too, because
Check the comment section of this.
we can't play football because You know what? There's a reason why you weren't playing football. But it just shows if you whine, you can get what you want. So
That's not true at all. I whine all the time, and I'm still not 6 foot tall.
you can get platform boots.
Yeah,
This is true.
That's
You didn't wear any platforms just last week? Halloween?
I don't wear platforms. No.
What did you do for Halloween?
I made a heart, which is sitting right there in the middle of the table.
That's what that is.
Yeah,
It looks icky poos.
it's cool though.
Mm-hmm.
Mox handed out candy. I ate a whole bunch of Reese's to try to save the kids of the neighborhood from having peanut allergies.
I do kind of wonder about like certain people who hand out candy, like when they see like their kid coming with their parents and stuff. I'm like, and I'm kind of self-conscious about that because I took my daughter's trick-or-treating around my brother-in-law's, in like the little Richard area, and it's like, most of this candy's for me, right?
Right. Yeah. Having small kids, it's like we got so much candy from Mox because we took them to all the neighbors we know and all the people, and they're like, "Oh, have them take this candy," and I secretly I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I think I gave it away
all
too.
That candy.
You guys,
I'm like, "Hey, do you want an almond joy?" You wanted that one? Okay. Or a Reese's peanut butter? You know.
You
What
guys
the fuck is an
do
almond
know
joy?
that you can just go to the store and buy candy yourself.
Yeah, but we're trying to
you
avoid
know,
the buying
But you
part.
know, free candy tastes a lot better than
Yeah.
bought candy.
Sometimes
right?
you get prizes inside. Razor blades.
Yeah. Do you know how much X is nowadays?
When you guys went trick or treating when you were younger, did you do pillowcases? Did you have the bucket or what?
Oh,
did you,
pillowcase all the way.
Pillowcase,
You
yeah.
get so much more candy in there.
did you enjoy like Halloween candy had a certain smell, like opening up that bag and like sticking your
yeah.
head in there and just taking a nice big whiff of all that candy together.
No, because generally I always just took my pillowcase off my pillow, so I didn't enjoy the smell at all.
I liked mine. I
You
had
licked yours?
I liked my.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
You know what always used to crack me up about Halloween is like your parents would go through your candy just to check to make sure there was no drugs in your candy. One of two things. One, like no one's gonna waste drugs
Right.
on a bunch of kids.
That shit's not
Yeah,
cheap.
it's not cheap.
Nowadays,
Well,
they
yeah,
wouldn't, but back in the day,
if it's expired, like if you've had like a dime bag for over a few months, I mean, like it's lost its potency.
and
I
two,
assume.
it just made me realize that all of our parents were druggies because they're hoping it's in there so they can be like, ooh, free crack.
not mine.
Were they marked like a special way?
I don't know. They're just like, I better have ooh, free crack day.
Isn't sugar crack already?
Crack cocaine.
Sugar. You ever try sugar or PCP?
Mitch Hedberg.
Yes. I don't think there's been a day that goes by where I don't quote at least Mitch Hedberg once or twice, It's like that is probably my most quotable,
What's your favorite quote of his?
Dude, I don't. I'm very situational, so I think it just has to, like, right now, maybe, fuck. Oh,
That was a good joke.
Yeah, that was a good one.
There's two that stand out to me, and they're just all of his jokes are just so stupid, but it's like they're
just
funny.
Throwaway one-liners.
Like,
That's it.
The one that I think stands out to me the most was he's just like, I cannot wait for my set to get over because I have a roll of lifesavers in my pocket, and pineapple is the next flavor.
The way he like announces or overly announce. It is the next flavor. Yeah, like,
Do you think
nobody
maybe
talks like that?
you think maybe he did one-liners because he couldn't like fully remember his set list?
I think he was 100% acting.
You think so?
I thought it was legit.
I don't think he was really that nervous and
Oh,
jittery.
there
I
was
think
definitely no nerves
It's
in
like
it, but
him and like Stephen Wright are really
Stephen Wright was fucking amazing.
It's just one-liners.
Just that delivery.
I think the one-liners and stuff was. But I don't think that he was how he just appeared like shy and like jittery, like he just like got done smoking a bowl or whatever. I think that was all an act.
Oh, speaking of comedy, my wife is mad at you.
What'd I do?
Because, she was scrolling through something and she's like, Joe Coy's coming on the 14th.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to be filming. And she's like, cancel it.
First off, the 14th was not my choice. The 14th was that guy's choice, and it was
the only choice that could work.
It was the
for
only
everybody.
choice.
She
So-
hates Jeremy for something else, and we can't figure it out because Zora won't specify.
Jeremy.
She's no, Jeremy.
Your daughter is warmed up to me.
But what the fuck is that supposed to mean? You telling them you
Why do you
saying
always got to go there?
my daughter's warming up to you? What the fuck are you talking about?
Just women have trouble warming up to Jeremy. That's fine.
Truth.
She's 5.
Quit talking like that's. I don't like jokes like that.
Oh.
That's not cool. Pedophilia is not a joking matter.
No, it is not.
You can touch a file, but you can't pedophile. Yeah.
Moving on.
Anyway, what did you do for Halloween?
I worked.
Oh, that sucks.
Well,
every day's Halloween for
I
you.
manage a Halloween department, so yeah, I worked till about 6:30, and then I went over and hung out with my niece, my sister, my mom, and my aunt. And we didn't take my niece out trick-or-treating.
That sounds delightful.
What we did was we all went in different rooms of the house and had my niece go to each room and like knock on the door, and then we'd give her candy.
You just robbed her from a awesome experience.
No.
I think trick or treating as a practice will change
Well, shit, it kind of already has. Are you talking about due to COVID or?
Yeah.
There was nobody in my neighborhood. Like driving home from work, I had to go through the neighborhood next to my work. Didn't see a single group of people out trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
Most of the porch lights were off. And then my neighborhood was the same way. There was nobody.
Yeah, there's a few people doing like
Zero.
the social distance trick-or-treating type of thing. They had like the PVC going from the garage all the way down to the sidewalk. And I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, you guys are way down there. Like, my daughter's 2 years old. You drop a Butterfinger, a king size or something, you know, by the time it gets to the bottom, it's going to hit the floor. It's going to jerk her.
Well, that tube thing, to me, I mean, it doesn't make any sense because they handled it and they slid it down the pipe to you, so it's same thing.
I mean, it's social distancing, yeah, but
they're not breathing on your kitties.
I think in the town my parents were in, I think we maybe did 15 kids, and we broke every rule. 'Cause, like, if they were cute little kids, we were handing out stuffed animals as well. Because my dad's a crane machine junkie.
I hated those.
And he gets like 6 or 7 a week because for some reason he was a heavy equipment operator most of his life. So for some reason he is a crane machine god.
Where does he go?
That little steakhouse we went to.
Oh.
And he'll go in there, and like every time we go over to his house, he'll have like 10 of them. And he's like, "Go ahead and pick one. Go pick a couple for Mox."
I used to be really good at those crane machines when I was like 3 or 4.
3 or 4, and also lying.
When they didn't have the flap.
Just crawl up in there. Yeah. But yeah, so all the little cute kids, we give them candy and a stuffed animal.
Did you tell them that? Like, oh, you're cute, you get a stuffed animal. No. And then the kid behind him, you're like, yeah.
Like, you, fuck you.
Twix.
But they're wearing masks.
No, the kids who weren't cute, we gave them a popcorn ball.
There's a few, like I saw a Valak out there.
Nice.
I was like, wow.
Hey.
What did your girls dress as?
A ninja, one, and Elsa. An Elsa ninja.
Elsa ninja.
One of them was a hand-me-down. I was like, we're not going to the one. She won't remember. Plus, she likes ninjas anyway, so.
Nice.
We cool. Well,
So what's one of your guys' favorite Halloween stories from growing up? Do you have anything that stuck in your head?
Like stories that somebody told me or stories of something that happened?
Something that happened to you. Like, what's one of your Halloween memories?
For me, it's the 10 years that I turned my parents' 2-car garage into a haunted house.
Yeah.
I mean, I think got popular. So my dad is the one that got me into Halloween. He would decorate our yard every year. But actually, I remember, I don't know how old I was, but at his work, some guy gave him this little spinning motor that you ran off of 2 D batteries. And my dad fixed like a wooden dowel to it and then put a styrofoam head on it and a mask and built a box around it. And it was this wolf mask that was just spinning around. And we had it on our porch when trick-or-treaters come, and everyone was like, oh, that's cool. So the next year my dad built a body for it. Then the year after that, he built a coffin for it. And it got more and more elaborate every year. And then it was just like, you know, I'm waiting for him to start decorating for Halloween one year. And he's like, yeah, I'm not doing it. He's like, I'm passing the torch down to you. And so I was like, well, you know, I got to do things bigger and better. So I asked my parents if I could turn the garage into a haunted house. And they said yes. And, you know, it was so fun because I got friends involved in it. And my whole family, like my mom, my sisters, aunts, they all played characters in it. I would write it out. I'd build it. But I just enjoyed the one memory that sticks out to me, and this might be a boring story to you, but it's one of those things where it made you feel good because it's like my dad or my brother-in-law had the chainsaw and they were Leatherface, and I had a machete and it was Michael Myers. And you know, you have a scared person in the group. Well, one of the guys is like, hey, that girl over there, she's scared by the car. Can you give her an extra scare? So we lined up alongside of my house, and he revved up the chainsaw, and he came running. I was behind him wielding the machete, and it's like as I'm running towards this girl, no emotion on her face. I'm like, okay, I feel like a fucking idiot because we're trying to scare her. And then all of a sudden, just snap of a finger, her face turned to terror, and she took off running. We have a park with a bunch of trees next to the house there, and she just took off and kept going and going. But
Boring.
Shut the fuck up. I knew you were going to press something like that. I was expecting the boo, but he asked a question and I answered.
Yeah. I think my favorite Halloween memory, and I can't remember what haunted house. It might have been Scary Acres when it was still good. No, it might not have been. It was a castle, but it was also, it had a corn maze.
Sounds like Scary Acres.
Okay, it might have been Scary Acres, but this was, man, I think we were 17 or 18 years old. So it was way back in the day. Me and a girl I was dating at the time, and my buddy Kyle and a girl he was dating at the time, and our friend Tom Gibbs. And I'm saying his full name because anyone who knows Tom Gibbs will 100% know that this is a factual story who have met him. So we went out to this haunted house. We first stopped at Family Fun Center when it was still on,
When it was
still
when
on
it was
72nd.
Family Fun
When
Center.
it was
Right.
good.
And we got all hyped up from there, and we went out to this haunted house. And the two things that happened here was we're walking through the corn maze, and Tom's maybe 5'7", maybe $160 at the time, and we're walking through this corn maze, and just Tom randomly screams at the top of his lungs, "I'd feel bad for someone who comes out of this corn and scares me. I'm 6'5" and have arms like tree trunks." And about that time, two people jump out from each side and scare him, and he loudest scream I've ever heard, and he fucking takes off running, and that was fun. But we're walking through this castle thing, and we get out, and you can see a plate on the ground. Obviously, someone's gonna pop out of that plate. So we're all kind of giggling and knowing what's gonna happen, and we see Tom kind of bundle up in his coat, like pull the straps because he's got a longer coat on. And we kind of get up close and nothing happens to us. And all of a sudden, we see the hatch pop up right in front of Tom. And he darts into his coat with one hand in one way and darts in his coat the other way and pulls out half of an air horn and the nozzle and starts screwing it in from probably me to you away, which is roughly 3 feet, and starts screwing it in front of this barely teenager's face. And you can just see the kid's eyes start growing in recognition about what's going to happen. And all of a sudden, we take off running. We take off running because we know someone's probably going to jail. And all of a sudden, we hear that fucking thing go off, and we turn around and look, and he's 5 inches from this kid's face, blowing that air horn for like a solid 2 minutes.
If I worked there and somebody did that, we would have escorted them the fuck out of there by their neck.
Oh, they did. They did.
That sounds ouchies.
Oh, man. I felt so sorry for that kid, but just the slow motion of, like, you would see in any, like, mobster movie or gangster movie, like, the reach into the coat and pull out the gun. He did it, and a fucking air horn popped out that none of us knew anything about. So we're like, oh, God.
Putting the pieces together, like, what?
Yeah, and it's just the eyes of recognition of, oh, this ain't good. And we fucking knew it, and we took off as fast as we could. And that was the days I didn't have asthma attacks from walking up 20 steps.
Yeah, I used to volunteer at Mystery Manor, which was a pretty cool place. Right next door to it, they had like an appliance center. They sold like washing machines and stuff. And I used to climb up on top of that, and for the character. Guess what I dressed up as?
A Asian monster.
Close. A half Asian undead dude, because Brandon. The Crow. And I would climb up on the top of that and jump off, and I did that like a few times a night, when I was volunteering there. And after a while, I'm like, I'm volunteering for this. I'm not getting paid to jump off this building. They didn't even ask me to do it. I was just doing it to, excite the crowd and stuff. Like, oh my God. But yeah, most of my Halloweens was just dressing up like the Crow and going hanging out in the cemetery with my best friend. But younger, before that, when I was living with my parents and stuff, with my mammy and my pappy, Ma and Pa.
Your mommy and pee-pee? Your Mimi and pee-pee?
Mimi, pee-pee.
Not necessarily a memory, but like call it a technique. Something that I used to do.
I generally don't say mom and technique in the same sentence, but you do you, boo-boo.
Oh, you don't love your mom then.
I guess I don't.
No, but I would dress up, in my Halloween costume, whatever that was. And I would wear a coat because it used to snow back when we went trick or treating way back.
So you were a Spider-Man with a fucking coat on?
Yep, most likely like a Tasmanian Devil or Dracula. Never mind. But anyways, instead of like as they go up to the houses and get more candy, I would take some of the candy and put it like either in my coat or pants or something like that. Because I grew up kind of
like bobbing for apples
in a bit of a strict family. Because like by the time I got home, they're like, nope, candy in the kitchen. You're not having any of it tonight. You know, you have
That's fair.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm just gonna go home upstairs to my room and snack on like these 20 things that I put in my underwear. That's Icky's. Let's edit that out.
Isn't it kind of weird, like, thinking back when you were a kid, like, you had to ask permission to eat candy and stuff like that, and it's like, as an adult, you're like, fuck this shit, I can eat candy whenever the hell I want. Like, do you think that made you a better person? Are your parents kind of being in charge of what you ate and when you can eat it?
I think it did. Because, I mean, like, nowadays when kids just get whatever they want, like, they know they can get away with things.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, they'll start crying or making a fit in public, and it's if the parent rewards that negative behavior, like, here, just use, watch this, shut up, eat this, and here's some candy, and
that takes us full circle back to the Huskers,
it's like they
whining about football and they get what they want,
and it doesn't help anybody.
No, it does not.
Reward negative behavior, you get asshole kids.
I remember one Halloween, I think we were really young, like maybe 12, 13 at a time. I was really into ghost.
You're usually one of those ages at
yeah, I'm really into ghost hunting. Like, it was young, and I was really, really into it. So I talked some buddies into going up to the local cemetery, which was on top of the hill. And we walked up there, and we didn't expect to see any ghosts or anything, but they just installed like the lights that shine up on the headstones. It was like this new big thing, so they only had a couple on them, and the way they didn't have them adjusted yet. So the way one of the lights was, it was just shining on like half of a headstone. So all of us little kids were like, "Oh, it's a ghost," because it was like one of the pewter headstones. And then we all got on the bus and went to school the next day, and we're like, "That thing's not there. It was a ghost."
Idiots, all of you.
Dumb kids.
I miss the feeling of like Halloween. Like I don't,
it being a thing.
Yeah, like it felt special. And I don't know if I'm just so numb to it because I'm around it all the time because of my job, but it's like, and the fact that I don't get to really enjoy Halloween anymore. Like, I'm literally working all the time, and I don't get to go to like the pumpkin patch. I don't get to really do anything fun like that. Like, I'm not saying my job isn't fun, but I mean, it's a job, and it wears you out. But yeah, I just remember days back, especially when I do the haunted garage, where it would just be like, Halloween was there. It was Halloween day, and like the whole day was just excitement. And then, especially when I was doing the haunted garage, and you'd have the line outside and the people, and it's like, I remember the end of the night, like nice fall, crisp, cool air, and I'd sit down and just kind of rest, because it was a lot of work to put that haunted house together and stuff, but just sit down on the porch and just like look around and be like, all right, another Halloween. And it just felt like you accomplished something. Now I just feel like, oh, Halloween's here, Halloween's gone.
It's very commercial these days too. It's like something's in and then it's out, and back then you took your time and you respected your stuff, and I got people on my block who are putting up Christmas stuff before Halloween even comes. It's like it dampens my spirit for it, if you will.
I told myself this year that next year I want to really kind of get into Halloween, and I want to decorate at home the yard. I want to make it look like a cemetery. Like, I want to build a cemetery fence, an arch, foam, like carve out of foam tombstones and stuff like that, and just make a graveyard, get some like zombie props and stuff like that. I mean, it all sounds like good and dandy, like, I'm going to do that. But then it's like reality hits when Halloween comes around. It's like, oh, I have to work. I've got to work. Oh, I got to work this day. I've got 7 days in a row I have to work. Then I get a day off, but I have to do this.
Just complaining.
Well, it's just like, the excitement and energy, like, yeah, I could be at work and I'm like, yeah, when I get home, I'm going to do this. And then it's like, Once
You're
work's done, I'm
exhausted.
like, I'm not gonna do anything except sit. But I don't know. I wanna have a fun Halloween. And
Right.
obviously this year was not a
Well,
fun Halloween.
nothing would let us.
But it's just like I want to go to Vala's Pumpkin Patch. I'd like to do like a haunted house or something like that. I'd like to just be able to decorate and have fun with it. But, just the older you get, the harder it is to do. And I mean, if you had kids, I could see that being as an excuse to where you can do things like that, because you want to make sure that they have the experiences you had. But it's like I try to do that with my niece and my nephews, and unfortunately, we weren't able to spend Halloween with my nephews this year because one of them was in a classroom at school with a kid who tested positive for COVID, so they all have to mandatory 14-day quarantine. So
That's not the one.
Nope.
No.
Well, speaking of Halloween, let's kind of change gears and get in the meat and potatoes of this night.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. This is episode 12.
This is episode
It is.
12.
Whose episode is it?
Hey,
Don't say it like that.
Whose episode?
it's my episode. But it's kind of not my episode. It's all of our episodes.
Yeah.
Because tonight we have a very, very special guest with us. We have David Howard Thornton with us tonight. For those of you who do not know who David Howard Thornton is, crawl out from what rock you are under. He is Art the Clown. He is... What the fuck was that?
It wasn't a honky.
It was a.
honky. Yep. Can't do it.
That was the worst sound effect ever.
Yeah.
Lonnie was doing such a good job building it up.
Did I break it?
You
Did I
did.
break it?
You kind of broke it a
Let's
little
restart it.
bit. Okay. David Howard Thornton is going to be with us tonight. We're going to pick his brain on literally anything we can. We're going to talk about movies. We're going to talk about theater. We're going to talk about what kind of cereal he likes to eat. We're going to talk about movies
I don't know
he's
about
got.
that. That's a little too personal.
No.
You don't talk about another man's cereal.
Oh, I do.
I
I'll,
judge
I'll
people
day-
hard.
I'll daydream about a cereal.
Do you eat the marshmallows before or after?
Oh, I do it at the same time, baby.
You're one of those.
I think we're gonna even try to play a game with him.
We're going to play a game with him. Yeah, we're going to play it, and he's either going to join or he's going to listen.
Well,
That was kind of mean. Jeez.
No, but yeah, stay tuned for that. That is going to be so much fun. And we're going to get to it right now. All right, everybody, it's what you've been waiting for. We're here with David Howard Thornton. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Oh, it's another beautiful day in the Midwest. It's hot here, actually, today.
It is.
it's kind of crazy.
It's,
I have to walk in
That's
it.
crazy because it's been a little chilly here. I mean, it's been like in the low 60s right now, but it's been chilly for the past few days, so it got a little warmer today.
Yeah, I mean, in the Midwest, this time of the year, it being 60 is pretty crazy.
I'm in t-shirt and
Yeah.
shorts in 60, 50 degree weather.
Right.
I remember I used to take trips in the wintertime to Dallas, and it'd be like 65 degrees, and everybody there's in like winter parkas, and I'm like walking around with my shirt off and shorts.
I remember as a kid, I used to
Oh,
go
yeah, no kidding.
trick-or-treating in the snow, and that hasn't happened in a few years. So,
Oh, my God, yeah. I remember a few years ago here in New York, we had snow on Halloween, too. That was trippy. Like, what? No.
That happened a couple of years ago here too. I remember I was taking my nephews out on Halloween, and it was snowing. I'm like, this is just a little trippy. I don't know that I like this.
Yeah.
So.
bad.
Well, let's get into a little bit about your background a little bit, David. So you originally started in stage work, didn't you?
I did, yes. Oddly enough, considering what I do now, basically for a living, I started off doing church plays.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. And now I cut people in half.
Hey, I mean, got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, start with the blood of Christ and just go to blood.
Right?
So having done both theater and film acting, I mean, I always tell people because I work with a lot of theater actors in the movies that I do. And I say there is a world of difference between the two of them. And I'm not saying one's more difficult or easier than the other, but which one do you find more natural?
Oh gosh, I would say definitely stage, because you can keep going with the scene. With film, you're you're filming like little chunks at a time, and then you're filming that same chunk over and over and over and over and over. So you don't have that constant stream of thought going on. You sometimes are in midstream of thought, and they're like, cut. Okay, let's do it again. I'm like, oh god, it's hard to keep a whole constant stream of emotions going on, and that's why I like about stage. You can just keep going.
Right. You have more of an ability to steer the audience. So, and that's like that.
Oh,
that
definitely.
gratification is like, oh, nice. I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
They're entertained.
Yeah, especially with comedy, it's just like it's having that audience there is very beneficial because comedy is so subjective, and different audiences respond to different things. So it's when you have an audience there, when the joke's working or when it's not working, and you can adapt on the fly. When you're filming, I don't know if this is funny because the crew can't laugh in the moment because they all got to be silent. So I'm like, oh god, do I just look really stupid right now, or is this funny? You don't have that instant feedback, and I usually, especially when I do comedy, I feed off of the energy of the audience. So when they're laughing, I give more because I'm like, okay, yes, this pumps me up more. It's a very, almost like a parasitic or symbiotic relationship in a weird way.
And that was something that you did that I felt like the original Art the Clown, Mike, he brought to his performance, but that you magnified when it came to your interpretation of Art the Clown. You brought that humor aspect to it, especially the cafe scene where you were able to just bring it in. Now, when you were auditioning for that, was that something that you brought to your audition, that humor?
I did, definitely, yeah. It's my audition is very interesting too because I didn't have a script, so I had to improvise a scene right on the spot, and so that was interesting because all they gave me, they just said, we want you to come up with a scene where you decapitate a guy and you're happy about doing it. That's all they gave me.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and I had this scene where I like cartoonishly just snuck up behind my victim, knocked him out, took out this like hacksaw and like sawed off his head, picked it up, tasted the blood, didn't like the taste of it, so I take out a salt shaker and I season it. And like taste again, I'm giving it a thumbs up, kind of bathe in the blood, and I skipped out on my merry way. And that's what got me the part. But I definitely brought that humorous aspect to the character into it, and I think that's probably what helped me get the part.
Yeah, it's just it's so freshening to have a new horror, I guess you would say, icon in the slasher genre that knows how to hit all those beats. It's scary when it needs to be scary. It's humorous when it needs to be humorous. It just clicks. It hits all the boxes. And I mean, you might not admit it, but as a horror junkie, it's so great that you filled that role.
Thank you. That's a hard line that we have to walk while we're filming this. It's something we're always keeping in our minds. We're trying not to be too campy with things.
Oh, absolutely.
And there will. Oh yeah. You have to know when to be funny and when to be serious with things. And there will be times where we will do two different versions of the scene where I'll treat it more with a comedic edge, or I will treat it just more serious and scary and sinister. And there are some times where I want to take it with a comedic bent, and Damien's like, no, let's do this more serious now. And I'm like, okay, cool, because I trust in Damien what really works. He has a really good vision for how things should be perceived.
And Damien, he's had the helm of Art the Clown for this is his 5th movie or 4th movie with Art the Clown, because he did Ninth Circle, the original Terrifier short, is All Hallows Eve, and then the feature. Is that correct?
Correct. Well, Ninth Circle and the Terrifier short were basically put into All Hallows Eve.
Okay.
So those are added into it. So in a way, the math kind of adds up. So and then Terrifier 2, which we're currently almost finished filming. So he's been with this character for, at least 10, 15 years.
Now, when you're on set filming as Art the Clown, between takes, do you stay in character? Are you silent, or do you talk to no? No?
Oh yeah, they can never shut me up. I think that's when Damien. Sometimes I'll be just in the middle of being silly and stuff like that, and Damien say, "Okay, let's roll."
So I respect that about you. Is like coming from like theater and switching over to film. It's like you don't come off as like a theater actor. So and you're a huge like physical actor, and it's amazing to watch you play. And like the way you develop your character, like the way Art the Clown comes off to me, I guess how I would describe it is kind of like a Marilyn Manson meets Mr. Bean type. It's you know, he's got that bitchy look to him. It's like right on, like he's totally different. Seeing that Art the Clown, you know, cover the face of Shudder and Amazon Prime and all that, like, is it real for you?
It's pretty surreal for me still. It's just like because in my head I'm still myself. Right. I'm still like the geeky kid from Alabama.
Right.
So it's still trying to set in and stuff like that.
Right.
I love it though. It's cool. It's very cool though.
I mean, that's where I was going to kind of go with my next question. I was going to ask you, I don't know that you just don't give off that aura about you that you understand like how much of a horror icon Art the Clown has become over the last couple of years. I mean, I'm a manager of my full-time job is I manage a year-round Halloween shop, and I ordered, I think it was like a dozen Art the Clown masks this year. And I had to do a reorder because they sold out so quickly. And on Halloween Day, this guy came in dressed up like Art the Clown, and this guy, he had it down. He had the trash bag, everything. I mean,
I love it.
People, Art the Clown. I'm gonna go up there and say it. He's up there with with Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, all of those horror icons. And I just, again, you don't really seem to think that, or do you?
I don't know. It's like I have my moments. I just wonder. I like, and sometimes I am brought back down to earth. Like a few weeks ago, I went to this Spirit Halloween store a few blocks down the road from me. I'm like, I want to go in there and just see if they have any Terrifier costumes or anything like that. Because sometimes they carry the Trick or Treat Studio stuff. Sometimes they don't. And so I went in and I'm walking around. I don't see anything. So I just even asked the guy, like, have you guys carried anything with Art the Clown here or anything with Terrifier? And the guy working there is like, well, who's that?
Oh, no.
Hell yeah, I'm like, oh, it's this movie called Terrifier. I'm actually the guy that plays him. He's like, oh, that's nice. That's nice. I'll have to go try to watch it somewhere then.
See, and you prove my point of why people should not shop at Spirit Halloween and why they should support local, because they don't hire the right people.
No, this guy had no clue. I'm like, yep, this is sad. Oh, bless him. But it was very humbling at the same time. I'm like, okay, cool. That was a good, like, humbling moment for me where I'm just like, okay, yep, don't get a big head, David.
So, veering a little bit away from Terrifier, we're 100% going to get back there, but Terrifier isn't the first filming that you've done in a clown outfit. You are actually the Joker in the Nightwing Resurrection, and I absolutely love it. I'm a comic book nerd myself, so seeing you in that, and I don't know if it was just your interpretation, but man, the Mark Hamill vibes coming off your Joker,
honing the Hamill.
Oh man, it was you.
All right, Mary. Thank you very much.
It was amazing, and that's what I did today. Was just watch through that series, and it floored me. Like, it was so good. And that was just filmed for, was that just for online?
Yeah, it's just fan film. It's just fan made. A bunch of us are just fans of the Batman universe, and we're all like, hey, let's just film some stuff just for fun and just put it out there.
Yeah, that's how
Like
we
none
got
of us
it.
made any money doing it. We're just like, this is fun.
Got a free week, so made some movies. And,
Fan films often do it better, anyways. I mean, providing
Right.
they have the quality value, the production value, and all that. I mean, like, when Hollywood comes in and swoops something up, it's like, you guys missed out on a good chunk of the story. You're not capturing everything. Yeah.
Oh, so true. You get the people that really care about the source material. That's when you're going to get the better product. I was like, I look at the guy that wrote the scripts for me for Joker. And I'm like, when I first read the scenes, when I had the audition, I just looked at the script. I'm, man, this guy writes Joker very well. He understands how he talks.
Right.
He understands his cadence and his humor and his ego. He really understood Joker's ego, where he just Joker likes to hear himself talk.
Right.
He's all about the big, huge exposition and the theatricality of everything. He just likes to brag. And that's what I really love about these scenes that they wrote. It's like, man, these are dark, but it's so well written. It's exactly how Joker would go about this, because that's what drives me crazy with all the different film adaptations of the character. Like, they have never done a true depiction of the Joker on screen, with live actors. It's just, except back in the 60s with Cesar Romero, but that was more in tune to like the Joker that time in the comic strip. But they've never done one that's really matched up to how he acts in the comic.
Right. His actual evolution, yeah.
With that being said, which version of the Joker of recent times do you like best? Who do you think did the best job as Joker?
Oh, that's easy. It's Hamill, by far.
Okay. All right. Figured that would be the answer.
Yeah.
Easy.
Well,
easy, because it's like he understands the character, and it's like that. What's really fun is to see the behind the scenes stuff and see him in the booth recording the lines. And he's not just sitting. He doesn't sit there and just read the script. He gets up and he's acting it out.
Right.
He becomes Joker there. Oh, it's so much fun to watch. And so like Mark understands the character. He understands his psyche.
Right.
And I love it because he doesn't play him as an insane man. He plays him as a man that is super sane, as I like to say. He's on a different level than everybody else.
Well, and that's what I think we were super lucky. Like, at our age, growing up with Batman, the animated series, it was just like we got to experience that when we were the most susceptible to a good Joker. Like, we had Jack Nicholson in the Tim Burton Batmans, which I think he did a great job. But our Batman was Mark Hamill.
But it was Jack Nicholson, too.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So
it's like when you watch Batman animated series, I didn't even know that was Mark Hamill for the longest time.
Right. And you just...
It's because he was so good. He just was someone else.
Right.
Like when Jack Nicholson played Joker, he was still Jack Nicholson.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you this question. So obviously, like you were talking about like Mark Hamill and stuff like that. Who are some of the other like role models that you looked up to in the acting world?
Oh gosh. Well, Doug Jones is definitely a big influence on me because we're so much alike physically, and I always back when I really learned about him back in the day, I was like, man, I like his career that he has. He plays these really fun characters, and he's a skinny guy like me. I was like, I would like to go down that path. So he's definitely a big inspiration for me. And we've actually met in real life and hung out together and stuff like that. And he's just the sweetest person. He is just, I think Doug Jones is what every human being should aspire to be. He is just such a great person all around. So yeah, I love Doug. Love him. Doug, if you're out there listening, I love you.
He's our number one listener.
Yay!
Well, it's funny.
Other than that, I would say like Jim Carrey, huge influence on me. Sure. Robin Williams, Rowan Atkinson, who was Mr. Bean. Of course, Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin from back in the day. Also, who I really learned a lot from because I was his understudy for 5 years with How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical, with Stephen Carl, who played Robbie Rotten on Lazy Town. He was just an amazing physical comedian. Amazing. He actually, I believe he went to Clown College in Iceland, where he's from, and he was just amazing, and he really helped take me under his wing and like help fine tune a lot of my skills. I learned so much from watching him and, you know, being his understudy.
That was your secret sauce, huh? Helped develop the...
Oh, yeah. I put a lot of Stefan into art when I'm on screen.
When a script lands in your lap, I mean, I like to understand people's processes. What is your process? How do you develop your characters?
With me, my thing, I usually try to figure out the voice first. That's how I've always been. I'm a voiceover actor, so like,
well, that sucks.
I always try to figure out how the, I try to figure out how the character will sound. And it just seems like with that, everything else falls in place. And when I try to figure out the character, I always go to different, like, people I would like to basically base that character off of in my head, like cartoon characters or real actors or historical. You know, I try to find frames of reference where to pull ideas from, and sometimes I pull multiple places and blend it all together. So that's usually my process. First, find the voice, and once I find the voice, it seems like everything else just falls into place. Like the mannerisms, the way they stand, you know, their cadence, everything just seems to just fall in place.
Did that affect you in any way, since Art the Clown doesn't talk? Everything,
yeah.
Everything having to be through your movements and actions, and
mm-hmm. That definitely did, and because of that, I had to go to other places where other influences. But I did go with influences, and I looked at different silent film actors that I wanted to pull from, and you know, from Chaplin, Keaton, you know, Mr. Bean, of course, Marcel Marceau as well, you know, since he was a fantastic mime, even though Art is not a mime. He's a silent clown. Silent clowns use props, mimes do not. That's the difference. It's in his name too, Art the Clown. He's not Art the Mime. Just want to put that to rest. I get that question all the time. Is he a mime? No.
Makes sense.
But it's like, you know, I did that. I also pulled from, like, you know, great movie villains as well. So I pulled a lot from Freddy Krueger, of course. You know, his swagger, his, you know, sense of humor about things. I pulled from a lot of, you know, other, you know, I basically look at Art as being like the fanboy of slasher icons. So there's a little bit of everybody in him. There's a little bit of Jason, Mike Myers, Chucky, Leatherface, Pinhead, all those guys in Art.
So,
and also pulled from some great silent film actors. Like, you know, of course, like Lon Chaney. I mean, he's a great one. There was actually a moment when we were filming part 2. But I just did it subconsciously as a reaction to something that happened to me. And Damien just freaked out. He's like, oh my God, dude, that was such a Lon Chaney moment. Oh my God, you've got to see this. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, no, that was so Lon Chaney, your reaction to that. I was like, yeah, I didn't intend for that, but wonderful.
Right. You're doing something right then.
Yeah, I was like, that's a great compliment because he was a master of that.
So, You brought up Freddy. You said he's one of your favorites when I was talking to you. So let's talk about this, because we're gonna start. We started last episode our annual, or it's gonna be our annual horror villain tournament, and we pitted 60 of the best, and it came down to you and Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
and again, I should stress it's the Robert England version of Freddy Krueger.
You beat out people like Cthulhu, Dracula. You beat out people like Michael Myers. All these slashers.
Yeah.
I mean, any horror icon you can think of, you beat him out, and you beat Freddy.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I think most of it is due to because we do not know the backstory of
right.
Like, it's like, who is Art the Clown?
And,
it's like we know other people have weaknesses, and
and it was kind of weird because early on in the tournament we had said it'd be kind of cool if Art the Clown and Freddy Krueger were the final round, because they have a lot of similarities the more we were thinking about it. So I guess we're going to ask you, since you did beat Freddy, how would Art the Clown have beat Freddy Krueger? What would your game plan have been going into a fight against Freddy Krueger?
Oh my God. I think Art would just freak Freddie the fuck out. He would just be like, he would do something just so morbid with one of his victims that Freddie was like, this guy's messed up. It's like, you dude, get away from me. I do bad things, but you, dude, whoa.
Right. Yeah, like the way we kind of put it, it's like we don't even know if Art sleeps. Like, and that kind of takes Freddy out of his game. Like when he's in the real world, he's kind of a powder cake. Like Heather Langen can't beat him a couple times. Every $140 blonde female in the world could give him a run for his money.
And Freddy loves the torture, and if Art can't really even cry,
right.
It's no good for him. But yeah, that kind of...
Yes, that's true. You bring Freddy into the real world, he loses his powers. So,
right.
Yeah.
It kind of leads me to a note. I want to... So my wife is kind of a...
I know where this is going.
My wife is kind of a metalhead, bodybuilder type of, physique.
She's terrifying.
Yeah, and she doesn't really flinch at much. But watching Terrifier, this is like one of the first times I've seen her flinch, and I'm pretty sure you can guess what scene it was.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I've heard from many women that see that scene. They're like, that made me hurt.
Well, it made me hurt, and I'm not a female.
Made me just want Thanksgiving.
You don't saw somebody in half like that.
Well,
I think people were surprised with that scene.
Well, since we're back on Terrifier, so the first movie, when it came out, it got picked up, and you guys didn't have a theatrical release for that. It just went straight to festivals and then straight to VOD and streaming systems. Do you guys plan on having a theatrical run for Terrifier 2, or is it gonna also be just the VOD and streaming?
We're kind of debating all that right now because we don't have distribution yet.
Okay.
Because we're just wanting to finish it first and we can get to distribution. So hopefully it'll be easier for us to pick up distribution this time than it was the first time because now we have some kind of clout behind us. People know us now. They're like, oh wow, okay. But it's possible. We would love to be put in theaters, but first of all, this whole thing with COVID, who knows?
Oh, absolutely.
And second of all, it's just the content of the film itself. If we were released in theaters, we'd probably have an NC-17.
Yeah,
right?
Pushing that hard R real hard.
Ooh, very hard R. It's harder than a pirate makes an R. It's just in the first 5 minutes of the film alone, Damien and I were talking when we filmed that scene. It was just like, we're like, yeah, this is going to get us an NC-17 rating just for this one thing.
Nice.
It's just like, oh my, it's brutal. It's brutal. But we would love to because it's one of these things that, these are the type of films you want to see with a big group of people. You don't want to just be sitting on your couch alone or just with your girlfriend at home watching this. You want to see this with a big crowd of people because everybody's reacting and having fun.
Absolutely.
So I think one of the ideas that Damien has is doing a road show with it.
Oh, nice.
Like kind of how like Kevin Smith did that with the last Jay and Silent Bob movie.
Right. Well, speaking of COVID, I want to talk a little bit about the Dark Offering. And that's super great. Like we just finished filming about a month ago a short film we did, and with the small crew we had and the limited actors, it was still difficult to film on our end. So with you guys filming a social distancing horror movie, how was that? Was that an awesome experience, being able to get back in front of the camera, but yet still feeling safe?
It was. It was different though, because like I wasn't in the same room with the other actors. We were having to interact literally over Zoom with each other.
Oh wow!
Yeah, which is different. And all what they did is I did film at my place. I went over to a friend of the directors because she had a much better setup and stuff like that. And they did my makeup, and then they went back to their apartment, and because who did my makeup she's also in the film, so she had to go back and film her part as well. and so I'm just there, and they're giving me directions over Zoom, and I'm like, okay, let's try it this way, try it this way, and try it this way. So it was definitely an interesting experience, having to film over Zoom that way instead of actually having your fellow actors in the room with you and being able to, interact with them that way.
Man, it's just such a new. I mean, there's been a couple movies. I guess I wouldn't even really call them good movies, but movies over that computer screen system with the Unfriended franchise and a couple other.
Right.
I think
it depends on how it's done. I mean, I've been certain bands have been doing like tours and stuff or displays, playing online. But
just trying to keep the entertainment alive.
Doing something with film is a bit of a challenge. It can be done. It just has to be done right. So.
Yeah.
But it's still.
It's definitely tough.
Yeah.
But that's what's so interesting about how artists have responded to this virus. It's just like it's not stopped artists from doing their things. We've found ways around it.
Right. In the horror.
You can't stop creative people.
No, absolutely not. And in the horror community too, it's everyone for the most part is willing to give anything a chance. They love the medium and they love the genre so much that it might not be someone's cup of tea, but they're still going to give it a chance and they're still going to respect you for giving it its go, which, I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So Terrifier was amazing. Do you have a tentative release date for Terrifier 2 at all? Or just...
We're hoping for early next year.
Okay.
I would say early mid next year.
Okay. So about that first.
Yeah,
second
we
quarter.
want to get it out as soon as possible because I'm going to be filming my last scene coming up this next month. It's a really awesome kill scene.
Nice.
It might rival the hacksaw scene, I think,
Nice.
for the first film.
Yeah,
so
you
it's
gotta,
pretty brutal.
You got to up it every time. You got to up it. I don't know if it's going to be hard to up the.
So you're
saucy,
telling us there's deaths in this movie.
Oh yeah. Well,
Spoiler
we did
alert.
start. Oh yeah, just small. Yeah, but we did start filming the first part of this thing back in I think February, and it's just we couldn't film it all back to back then because Damien had to go build the prosthetics for the rest of the scene because it gets pretty crazy. So it's interesting, but when we're filming it that day back in February, one of our crew members, who was a huge horror fan, tough guy, he started to get woozy watching what we were doing. Just the beginning part of the scene, he's just like, guys, I'm sorry, I got to step out of the room.
That's how you know you're doing good work.
You have to talk to your kid again.
That was our reaction. Like, wow, we're doing it well then. We got Leo. Leo's freaking out.
There's a quote that I guess all of us kind of really love, I guess. It's a Rob Zombie quote called "Art is not safe." Well, that's what it is. Art is not safe. And yeah, your character is really taking that to the extreme. Art is not safe.
More than one way.
Yeah.
Oh, he's horrible.
We love him.
Yeah, like no one is safe with him. It's just like you don't know what he's going to do. And the thing is too, it's like like with most of these type of films, when you have the kill scene, you have maybe the first blow, and then you see the aftermath. And it usually just cuts away, and then you see whatever happened later on. With our films, we don't cut away. We keep showing the whole entire kill happening.
Right.
And it's not just 5 seconds. It keeps going.
Right. And that's not only like an amazing scene, that really shows off your special effects department too.
Yeah.
It really gives them that respect that they deserve. That cutaway
that's all Damien. That's all Damien.
Oh,
he did it all himself. He even in part 2, he basically did it all himself. We had hired some makeup people to help him, and they bailed about a week or so before we started filming. Jeez. And that caused some delays with like what this, and because he has to not only be directing, he's also having to build all the practical effects and the prosthetics and everything like that. And there's a lot more of that in this film than there in the first film.
He's pretty much
so that
writing.
takes some time. So we have to. Oh yeah, he wrote it, directed it, did all practical effects. He does all the editing himself. He's a one-man army.
Jeez. Was he grounded a lot as a kid?
I wouldn't doubt it. It's so funny because you see the stuff that he comes up with, and you would think he would just be like the craziest, most messed up person in real life. And Damien is such a laid back, chill, nice dude. It's just like he's such an every guy. So it's just, you wouldn't know all of that is up there in his head. It's like, good God, man.
Well, he's got an outlet to get it out.
So
yeah, thank God.
So we know Art the Clown likes blood and violence. What about David Howard Thornton? Are you a fan of the blood and violence, or is it just you kind of just fell into this role?
A little bit of both, you know. It's like I was a little late to the game because, like, growing up, my mom was very much opposed to horror films. She was easily scared, so she did not like horror films. So we didn't watch them in my family, really. Except my dad would watch them late at night on Sci-Fi Channel or Cinemax or something like that when everybody had gone to bed. Yeah, I didn't get until I was a senior in high school when Scream 2 came out because I had some castmates invite me out, and like the girls I had a crush on in the cast wanted me to come. I'm like, okay, I can't chicken out now.
You can't do too much blood and gore in a church theater, but
it depends on what version of the Bible.
Yeah, it depends. It's like, okay. which story are we talking about today?
Right.
Because if you read your Bible, there's a lot of messed up stuff in there.
This is true.
Whatever chapter you're in.
Like, oh my gosh, I'm like, that's the thing. It's like people start, oh, this and this about the Bible. The Bible being posted, that's like, actually, actually. There's a whole section in the Bible where the Bible condones abortion as a form of slut shaming. So it's just like, yeah.
Tabernacle.
Like if a man thinks his wife cheated on him, he can take her to a priest, and the priest gives her this magic elixir that makes her, have a miscarriage.
That doesn't say that.
So it's just like,
even though you can show me the verse, it doesn't say that.
oh yeah. Like I said, there's some messed up stuff in there. I was like, oh my God. So no, but we didn't do that kind of theater. No, we're just like, oh, it's Moses.
So
Moses, he's gonna walk those people across the water. He's gonna part it, and they're gonna walk across.
I love this guy.
So yeah, it's a far cry from what I used to do. So yeah, but it's like. But it's fun. This was my first time when I did Terrifier was doing anything with all this blood and stuff like that. So it's one that I think it's really cool because I've always been the type of person I like to see how things are done. You know, I grew up doing a lot of magic tricks and stuff like that. So I've always been more interested in how things are done, how things are made than the show itself. So I like being on set and seeing how all the practical effects are done and everything like that. That's fun for me.
And that's
it can be gross though. Oh, it can be gross at times.
And that's one of the biggest things I love about the Terrifier movies. It's all practical effects.
We can't get this guy to watch like anything that doesn't have like
CG,
a little bit of CGI.
I don't like.
He's
like,
nope, I'm out.
It's. I'm not saying it's cheating, but it's just like it's.
It's an art form in itself.
What gets me is when they do CG blood.
Yes.
I feel like blood splatters and stuff. I'm like, look, because it never looks right. Like even when they like have like someone gets stabbed and the blood pools out on their stomach under their shirt because they just don't want to have to keep doing different shirts and stuff like that. And it looks so fake. It just like I hate it. And that's what I also give mad props out to like Sam Raimi, like with the Evil Dead series, and even like the Evil Dead the TV show. It's like they kept doing all the practical effects, and I'm like, oh my God! I remember like this one episode where it was just a constant stream of blood just going in Bruce Campbell's face, and I'm just like, God, that had to been a bitch to film that day. But it looked awesome. But my side of it, I was like, oh, I feel your pain, Bruce. Oh, my God. Oh, I bet he was like, oh, and they're like, okay, let's do it again. He's like, oh, no, again?
Get the over-the-shoulder angle.
Yeah. I don't care how hokey a practical effect looks. I will take it over CGI any day. I mean, that's what I grew up on was the cheesy slasher 80s horror films, and it's just like when they chop somebody's head off, you knew it was a dummy, a prop dummy or whatever.
absolutely.
But it's like that's what made it great. So yeah,
Like,
I'm glad you feel the
Part of the
same way
fun.
I do. So
Like the original
yeah.
Omen, the glass slid over and obviously cut off the
Oh,
dummy's
God.
head. You have 9 different slow-mo angles of the dummy's head.
Oh, but it's so cool. It's
Oh,
so cool. It's
absolutely.
just like, good. So that sheet of glass just goes. Oh my God, I love that. That's one of my favorite films too. Horror films is The
It's
Omen. So
great.
it's like,
well,
it's so good. It's
that kind
so
of
good.
brings me to the next question for you is like, how vast of knowledge do you think you have in the horror movie genre?
I would say I have an average knowledge. Damien, though, is like an encyclopedia.
You have a lifeline.
It's insane. He's just like, I when we were coming up with ideas for kills for part 2, I would come up with something, and he's like, oh, yeah, that was done in this B movie that came out in 1950. So I'm like, how do you know this? It's like, I've never even heard of that movie. He's like, oh, yeah, no one has. His whole thing is like he doesn't want to rip off someone. If he does take ideas from other people, he wants to do it like as an homage.
Right.
But he doesn't want to just flat out just rip off someone else's kill. So like, yeah, like I had an idea for a kill where I wanted to do like some kind of marionette type of thing, and then he's like, well, they did that in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. I'm like, I know. And they kind of did that at Killer Clowns too with the pup. I'm like, I know. But it'll be fun. He's like, but we don't want to take off. We want to do something new, and it's harder to do new things now because there's so much that has already been done. So it's trying to think of new things. It's just like, oh, okay, what are we gonna do? And I think with us, it's like, we might do some things that you might have seen in some other films, but we take it to the extremes. We just don't cut away. We keep going with it.
Yeah. It's been oversaturated here and there, but I mean, like, there's only so much like the human body can do or take or whatever. I mean, you got to just keep it creative.
Yeah.
Like something lower quality has probably done something, but putting your own spin on it is accepting. Like, yeah, it's still in itself.
Well,
oh yeah. Especially when you see like the practical effects he's built for this. Like there's this one dummy that he made for this where he put in a breathing mechanism into it, so it looked like the character was actually like it was. I could not tell the difference between when it was on screen. I could not tell the difference between the actor and the practical effect.
Wow.
It's like it was amazing the amount of all the facial, because this person had beard stubble and stuff like that too, so he had all this beard stubble on there. I'm like, my God, man.
Well, we would like to play a game with you if you're willing and wanting to.
Sure, I could do that.
So that's why the question of your knowledge of horror movies, because
okay.
This
I just went off on a tangent.
No, go right ahead. So this is going to be a game that's going to be called Killer Diaries, and basically each of us wrote 2 diary entries apiece, and your job is after we read it, you have to tell us what horror villain wrote that journal entry.
Oh, that's fun.
Okay.
It doesn't only.
Okay.
I guess it's not just within the realm of horror villain. It's like the horror movie too. So.
Cool.
So, and if you need a hint, we'll gladly give you a hint. None of us know each other's, so you could also, if you want to ask the other ones for advice, you can do that as well.
This is your episode.
Yeah. And if you win, you just get to brag.
Okay.
So I'll go first.
You get a brand new car.
Yes. So I'll go first with the
that.
first journal entry here. And this is my first time reading them out loud, so it sounded cool in my head when I wrote it, and as I'm reading it, I'm probably like, yeah, this is stupid. All right, so here we go with entry number 1. You would think with all the lessons I teach that I would learn my own lesson by now. That's my curse, I suppose. I have to always top myself. I have grand visions, and I won't accept anything less. I guess I'm trapped in that mindset. The cost of materials these days are just outrageous. I really should go back to the old days where there was less work to do. I could just lie there and let the others do all the work. Oh well, I really wasn't much of a mentor back then.
I got it.
Who said that?
Jigsaw.
You got it. Boom. Okay. All right. I threw in some hints there, so that was a nice one I lobbed up there. So
Yeah.
okay.
My first one.
Oh yeah, that was good though. That was good because I really love that character. It's such a brilliant idea.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was, I think, like a, it was something new. That first Saw movie, that ending.
Oh my!
When the
God,
twist was revealed, man.
Oh my God! I was like, my best friend and I were watching that, and we were both like, "No, what?
Yeah.
What?"
The guy on the floor the whole time. Like I pick up on things like that, but I was like, man, like there hasn't been a movie since where the twist at the end has like got me like that.
No, that's probably one of my favorite twists ever in the movie. That and The Mist.
Oh yes,
I had a theory about The Mist the other day.
You got a theory about it?
Yeah, like. The lady in the store wanted to kill the kid, and they're like, no, don't do it. But then they were in the car, and when he shot the kid, then the military came. I think if that lady would actually killed the kid in the store, it would all ended.
You did tell us about that.
I did tell you about that. Yeah. Anyway, this first one's this is a lob. This isn't even a lob. This is a T-ball. All right.
Okay.
Dear Diary, well, it was fire again. Why always fire? It's always fire, fire, fire. Yes, fire hurts, but it hurts my feelings more. If people would just take a second to get to know me, they'd realize that I'm not all that bad. Or if they would just take the time to treat me like an equal now and then. I always try to dress my best, but it's hard to find a Christmas sweater in June. And if they would just say, hey, I like your hat now and then, I would smile. Or offer me some face cream. This is so witchy. Anyways, I gotta go. This is your dreamboat. Hee hee.
Well, that's obviously Freddie.
Yeah.
At first, before you got into the sweat, I was like, this could actually be Carrie as well.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Right. I just like Lonnie's voice there. He like went so like all high pitched and
yeah, that was great.
All right, well you're 2 for 2.
Good job.
Woo-hoo.
I did mine a little bit different than a journal entry, so it's
great.
more like
This is the second time in a row you've came into this. You did perfect the first time, and the last 2 times you've like shit the bed on it.
Oh, it's a really pretty shit though. You're gonna love it. All right, so the first one. She danced under the moonlight, the innocent glow in her eyes. It's raining, she said. It's raining, she said. She was an angel, her radiance swirling in soft oblivion. It's raining, she said. It's raining, she said. While others hid behind their masks, delighted, she danced and laughed. It's raining, she said. It's raining, she said. Pure and naive, this little girl, unaware of the evil in this world. It's raining, she said. It's raining, raining red.
What the
boy.
hell? What the hell was that?
You're supposed to make it easy or make sense.
Now, knowing you, Justin, is this a movie that normal people would watch?
Yep.
Because you watch some weird stuff.
I kept it relatively easy.
Is this another kung fu movie that you said was horror?
That was horror. No. Any guesses, Sir David?
Oh God, it's raining. It's raining. God, I'm kind of drawing a little bit of a blank here.
The sinker is the last line. It's raining red.
It's raining red.
It's raining red.
I think it's raining red. Oh my God. Part of me thought of the Evil Dead remake.
No.
With it raining red.
No.
But no.
Any of you guys?
That's what I was thinking. The Evil Dead remake. Yeah.
It's a Curse of Michael Myers Halloween. It's the little girl standing under the tree saying it's raining red.
The one that I've seen like once.
Yeah.
With Ant-Man?
Is that I was going to say, the Paul Rudd one?
Yeah. That makes sense. Oh, God. Good job. Good job.
Oh,
my God. That was good.
It had a nice cadence.
You mentioned the whole thing with the masks and stuff like that. So at first I did think Michael Myers for a second, but
Don't encourage him,
I'll
David.
give him half a point.
We're trying to spray him with a spray bottle for this behavior.
All right. So we're going with my second one here. This one might be easy. These 2 guys are going to give me crap because they're gonna probably know right away what it is because it's one of my go-to things. So, all right, and it's not Uncle Buck. I'll tell you that.
The Great Outdoors.
All right, so dear diary, you don't know me because I found you in the backpack of one of these dead cheerleaders. I thought cheerleaders were supposed to be full of pep. Not these ones. They started crying and pissing themselves the moment they saw me, acting like I was messing up their day. They act like they saw the boogeyman or something. The boogeyman. That actually doesn't sound so bad. Maybe I am the boogeyman. Well, off I go. I've had my next art project in mind for a while. It seems kind of fishy, but it will definitely get me out of my artistic block I've been in lately. Who said that? Or who wrote that?
Huh. I got so stupid all of a sudden. Cheerleaders. Give me a clue.
Oh, let's see. Rob Zombie. That's your clue.
Rob Zombie, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Cheerleaders. Oh my God. Boogeyman.
I'll give you another clue.
Uh-huh.
The boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Oh my God. It's
I can take the actor's name too.
It's not Richard Brake though.
It's the other one.
Yeah.
He's been in 8,461 horror movies.
Oh, I know, Bill Moseley. It's from like the Oh my God, not Spalding, of course, but Otis Driftwood.
Yeah, you got it. From House of a Thousand Corpses, one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I had to really think there though. I was just like, oh my God. Yeah. I was like, okay, cheerleaders. Okay.
Well,
I know this is not Spalding, but I'm like, I was having to search for his name there. I was like, Bill would hate me for not getting that.
I love
Bill would be like, Dave, dude.
You and Bill Moseley, you would have great chemistry in a movie together, I think.
Oh yeah, we wanted to get him into part 2 actually, but we didn't have a part for him.
Oh, you could have given him anything. He could have been like man number 35, and he would have done it.
Oh, I know, but it's just like we wanted to do something to give him, something to do him justice.
Right.
That kind of part. We didn't want just like, and Bill Moseley playing,
janitor,
bystander.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're 3 for 4. Lonnie, number 2.
All right. This one's from my favorite movie of this genre. All right. Whoa, what a horrible first day at work. First off, this job is freaky to start off with all this dead shit. Then there's this crazy old man told me about this movie that apparently is a true story. I don't fucking believe him. And then he took me downstairs and told me it was a government cover-up and some shit. But he showed me this canister, had some writing on it, and he hit it and shit came out and made me feel all sick. And now the only thing I can think of is Tina coming down here and giving me some head. But not what you're thinking about. Not the sexual way. Man, I'm so cold and I feel sick. Man, I'm just so hungry. I wish someone would send more cops.
You got me baffled there.
Oh my God.
I was thinking Night at the Museum. Ben Stiller.
Oh man. That's crazy.
This is well known?
This is well known.
You said it's one of your favorite movies?
Absolutely. This is my favorite zombie movie of all time.
Ah, gosh. That makes it harder for me in some ways. Oh my God. Oh, I wish it was Shaun of the Dead, but
Not Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. Dawn of the Dead?
It is not Dawn of the Dead.
I kind of suck with zombie movies, to tell you the truth. I get them all confused in my head.
Yeah, there are a lot of them.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like, oh my God.
This one was kind of the first one of its kind. Maybe it was
Night
more...
of the Living Dead.
Not Night of the Living Dead. Close. It was kind of almost seen as a black comedy when it came out.
Oh, my god, Damien is gonna kick me ass. Damien's like a zombie movie expert, so it's just like, oh my god, it's just like, oh, like I said, I suck when it comes to zombie movies. I get them all confused.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like,
You got
like literally.
You got Of the Living Dead right.
That was
though.
unintentional. What's that?
You got Of the Living Dead right though.
Yeah.
Just finding the right beginning.
Dawn of the Living Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Planet Apes.
I'm gonna guess Return of the Living Dead.
That is correct.
Return, okay, Return, okay.
And it was
that's what's hard. It's like there's so many Living Dead movies, so it's just like
right. And I kept
I have not seen those in forever.
Right, and I kept the theme alive. That was Freddy from Return of the Living Dead as well. So it's Freddy Krueger and Freddy from Return of the Living Dead.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're 3 out of 5 now, soon to be 3 out of 6 because Justin's going to be ridiculously hard.
I feel like he might be able to get this one.
The wind blows.
So,
okay, let's see.
All right.
Is it a haiku as well?
It is a haiku.
Change on the floor.
It's a little poem.
The blood drip.
I was feeling emotional this morning, so I wanted to write something. Yeah. All right, so here we go. The moss grows thick here along the dark and jagged stone. The dampness muffles my cries. This is where I waste and rot alone. I was never supposed to be here. I was never supposed to exist. Mama loved me so before her madness, and by her hand fate would twist. Atop the hill of Shelter Mountain, at darkened dusk the tree would burn. A collection of memories I'd share. This bitter torment I'd part and yearn. See my pictures, cry and subvert. With their willing response, I want them all to hurt. So commence the countdown, a gift of burning abrasions. Run as you like, face me at hollow static invasions. Terror and void is my play, as the circle above spectrally portrays. In my blackened eyes, the ring of rage. Nobody survives after 7 days.
Oh, this is the Ring.
Boom. That's it.
I got it.
No?
Yeah,
I did? Okay.
Wow.
Well, I'm just trying to remember her name. Tamara.
Boom. That's it.
Tamara.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're good.
Wow.
Cool.
Well, you got half
It's
of
like
them.
the blackened eyes and the 7 days. I was like, okay, now I know.
I was thinking Hatchet for some reason. When you were like by the water, I'm like, oh fuck it, he means Hatchet.
She's in the whale, man.
Yeah, that was very well written though. I like that one. That was creative.
I was thinking Mommy Dearest at first, and then
I watched way too much B movies.
Those are the best. So, all right. Well, you got 4 out of 6, so that's
pretty good.
Pretty darn good.
Woo!
And one of those being one of Justin's. So
You get 2 points for that one.
that's a lot to brag about. So, no, but
Yeah.
well, we're about at the hour mark here with you, but.
Oh wow, that went like that.
I know.
Yeah, it does.
But before we get going, I mean, again, I know confidentiality contracts and stuff like that. You can't say too much about it, but I mean, what's something you can leave us with about Terrifier 2?
Terrifier 2 is, I like to quote, I when I was on set and everything like that, we would always call it T2. And there's a reason for it because, like, you know, you have Terminator 2. And, you know, how Terminator 1 was a great movie. But Terminator 2 just took things further and just improved on everything that was great in the first film. And that's how we look at Terrifier 2. We've addressed all the criticisms that we had. You know, no plot. People are like, oh, there's not much plot. I'm like, okay, we're adding more of a narrative element, a lot more character development and stuff like that. So I would say like Terrifier 2 is going to be a kind of like, you know, Terminator 2 for the horror world in a lot of ways. I hope. And it's just, I think everything's just bigger and better and more ambitious, and I think everybody's going to love our heroine in this, our final girl, Sienna. She is just such a, you know, Ellen Ripley, you know, type of character, Sarah Connor type of character, where she just kicks ass. And because art needs someone that's gonna be able to go toe to toe with him, you know.
Right.
And I think he's found something like that. The yin to his yang, the Batman to his Joker. So it's very exciting. It's a fun movie. It's one thing we really focused on, you know, not only making like the middle chunk really fun and everything like that, but we Damien and I talked about this. Like, the movie has to start with a bang and it has to go out with a bang. Those are the parts people remember most about a movie.
Absolutely.
And so, the first part of the movie, boom, we just go out with the craziness and the gore over the top. And we start exactly where Terrifier, the first film, left off. We pick up there.
That's
and
fantastic.
then we jump ahead a year. And then the last quarter, last quarter of the film is nuts. It's just awesome.
You got all of us over here so
I can't wait.
Amped up. I mean, it's going to be so
I'm
fantastic.
excited.
Drop us a...
I can't wait to see all this stuff. And they recently filmed a stinger for the end of the film recently with that I'm not in, unfortunately. Well, no, I might be in it, actually.
Maybe.
Hey, maybe.
I can never
But
confirm or deny.
it's a really cool scene. It's a really cool scene with a surprise guest that we have not announced yet.
Oh.
Bill Moseley?
I think what we might have to do here is when it's completed and it's ready to be released, we should try to get you out here. We've got an Alamo movie theater, Alamo Drafthouse movie theater out here that likes to play a lot of movies that may not get like an actual theatrical release, but we should when it comes time, we should keep in contact and we should see if we can get you and Damien or whatever out here and have like a couple screenings or something out at the Alamo Drafthouse, because I know Omaha.
We talked about that road show. So.
Yeah. Omaha would freaking love to have you guys out here. Yeah, it's a big horror movie community out here. So
I was actually in Omaha, God, back 10 years ago, 2010, with the Grinch. I lit the Christmas tree that year.
Really interesting.
Nice.
Yeah. I lit the Christmas tree, and it was snowing. It just started snowing, and I turned out like, look, everybody, I brought snow.
You were here 10 years ago, and you never came back.
that's the Midwest.
I remember going to Wheatley's there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And that's where we would always, because we were performing at the theater right around the corner from there.
Oh, okay.
And we stayed at the little hotel that was really close. It was a really nice hotel. It had some really good cookies.
Did you have steak? Did you have steak or prime rib while you were out here?
Oh, of course.
I was gonna say it's nothing like what they have in New York.
Oh, my God, no, it's so good.
That cow was slaughtered early this morning.
Oh yeah, it was so good, so delicious.
So I remember seeing a interview with Damien talking about how he kind of wants to possibly settle with a trilogy and cap that off. Like, does two leaves it open for possible art coming back?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. We definitely set up some things. We're not done talking about art yet.
Don't kill 2 yet. Like we still need our 2 fixed.
I know
worry about 3.
And I like the whole Terminator 2 calling it T2. That gets me even more excited too. So
all right, David. Well, we're gonna kick you loose, but before we go, where can people find you? What are your socials?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram under David Howard Thornton. And I also do cameo videos as well. So if you want like some kind of birthday video or something like that, I do that. So I'm on Cameo under my same name too, David Howard Thornton or David H. Thornton or something like that. Some variation of it, but you can find me on there.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for calling in and letting us pick your brain about horror and comedy and everything fun. But
yes, you're a super humble guy. You're very what's the word I'm looking for?
It's just one of the dudes.
Down to earth, and I mean, on top of that, I mean, you're an amazing actor and
much respect for your craft.
You know what's funny is we work with local actors who are assholes compared to this guy.
Wow, you said that. I didn't say that.
I will gladly say.
I did not say that.
I'm a writer, so I mean, if they come at me, they're gonna get shitty parts.
I don't blame you. It's just. I've worked with those same types too, and just like no one wants to work with them.
Right.
It's just I don't like. That's the one thing we've been so fortunate on with both films. It's like everybody that's been part of the cast and crew, there have been no egos or anything like that. Everybody's just been one big, huge, happy family, just having fun and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
And like I said, that's the joy of horror. It's just a community of people who love to see some blood and guts and have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. It's great.
All right, David. Well, thank you for taking time to talk to us. And, best of luck with the rest of filming Terrifier 2.
Well, thank you very much. And we can't wait to get it out to you guys.
Well, looking forward to it.
All right. Well, we will be back in just a moment.
Wow, that was a whole lot of fun.
That was. He's such a nice, humble guy.
He's like the dude who you invite over to a script reading, and then he stays on your couch for the next 3 months.
I really didn't feel like he was going to kill me, so.
A question I was going to ask him, and then I think one of you guys asked a question I totally forgot, was I feel like he got the part. I feel like once he read, they stopped auditions and he's it.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh.
That was our interview with David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown.
If you guys have not seen Terrifier yet,
do it. God,
check it out.
It is so fucking amazing.
2 ways to do it. You can either do it on Amazon Video,
Amazon
Prime Video.
They just took it off Shudder, so now it's been pushed to
Netflix.
Is it on
not
Netflix?
Shudder.
Yeah.
But if it was not. It was never on Shudder.
Pretty sure I watched it on Shudder.
You didn't watch
You're
it on
full
Shudder.
of Shudder. No, but it's also on Tubi. And Tubi is 100% free. Tubi. But yeah, I mean, you are not going to be disappointed with these Terrifier movies.
Unless you don't like blood and guts.
Then you will be terrified.
Or if you're a female and you have a vagina.
Or if you're a female and you don't have a vagina.
Like he said, when he brought up the mist, you can just do what I do and shut it off at a certain...
I feel like I should clarify
Movie's
what
over.
I just said there with the women and vagina. It's because there's a scene in the movie that involves...
Spoilers!
A woman's vagina.
Getting fishboned.
Yes. So, no, that was super fun. And, he got me... I was already excited for Terrifier 2, but...
I can see that.
Just his... Sorry that the table's tilted. But, no...
We could have talked to him for 3 more hours. I feel like we had to cut off half of our notes.
I think we're going to have to get him back and, he was saying Damien,
right?
Maybe get him on, too, to talk about it. I mean, to hear about Damien, that he, wrote it, directed it, did the
effects. Our blood guy needs to step his game up.
Yeah, so, okay.
Our blood guy does a good job. He does blood and D&D.
Absolutely. So
story writing.
So yeah, Terrifier 2, and we are going to work on getting them out here for a couple movie premieres of Terrifier 2 at the Alamo Draft
I just
House.
want him to come out so we can all hang out.
He does feel like
it just feels like another dude.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably straight edge too, or something along those lines.
I don't like straight edge people; they're all assholes.
This dude had a story. Go tell it.
All right, so I'm at work.
So I was balls deep in this elephant, right?
And I was walking a customer up front because we have to, with COVID going on, we weren't letting people try any of the masks on. So to prevent that from happening, we would have to walk the mask up. So I walked the mask up, and one of the people that I was walking the mask up for didn't go around to the cash register like I thought it was. And he's looking at me, and he's just like, "You straight edge?" And I'm like, "What?" And keep in mind, I'm probably 15 feet from him. I'm walking towards him, and he's like,
at least 20 kilometers.
And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "You straight edge?" And I'm like, "What?" So after the third time, it's I finally heard him. He's like, "You straight edge?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I saw the tattoo on the back of your leg." But I'm just like, why the hell
are you asking it like you're trying to sell him drugs?
Yeah.
You know? It's
you want weed? Sweet. So
okay. Probably.
Okay. So, I mean, but he thought that was cool. So I mean, that was
Did he say that's cool, or did he just insinuate that's cool?
No, he's like,
because he could have been like,
no, it was genuine. That's cool, man. Like me too, type of thing. But I think he probably saw by the look in my face that I was a little freaked out because of the way he was like,
his first word was probably, "You serious?" You a grown ass man, you still straight edge?
I am.
Serious?
Now, let's talk about straight edge. So a lot of people say, straight edge is somebody that doesn't drink alcohol, doesn't use tobacco products, doesn't use drugs. But there's others that
don't drink, don't smoke, don't fuck.
And don't have sex.
Wait, that's not straight edge.
Well, I've never incorporated the sex part as being straight edge.
You don't incorporate sex?
You're straight. Do you have sex or straight edge? Well, Jeremy's the most straight edge person then, because he doesn't drink, smoke, do drugs, or fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Join the monkhood,
ladies.
The most straight edge man on earth.
Women want what they can't have, right? And you keep denying them.
Yeah.
There's
a line of drop panties.
I'm denying them left and right.
Door.
Someday I'll be that guy that
sir.
Once their life goes to shit and the people that they are with or want to be with have denied them, then I'm their safety net.
They could be like, I wanted to shoot that combo, but I guess.
How did we get on this subject, by the way?
You brought it up.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. You said, what's straight edge? And I told you, and then we got on a sex.
And then you said, Jeremy's the most straight edge because he doesn't drink, smoke, or have sex.
Because that is truth.
So then it came back around and having like some tea and crumpets with Sir David Howard Thornton, but because we were going to hang out.
Did you know if you buy a small plot of land in Scotland,
yes,
you can be called Lord?
Lord or Lady?
Why would you want to be called that?
Because you'd be called a fucking Lord. I got
Do you want like a
I
title?
got ordained as a minister, so I could be called priest.
You touch kids?
Wow. How does it go?
Go ahead and give me that burden.
Reminder, this is Fred Durst.
That's my Fred Durst. You want to come and get the rolling.
You see, we're letting this all out now because if we did an interview like this with David Howard Thornton, he would have hung up after 5 minutes.
Fuck, guys.
Is that Bill Cosby over there?
Oh, it's Fred Durst. You're the friend and another.
You should do voice cameos as
Dude, that's what we should have got.
Like, just hiding behind the curtain.
David
no one knows.
David is huge into voices. I remember seeing a video. He was doing like 100,
we could do dual voices. He'd be like, hey, "This is my best Mark Hamill." And I'm like, "This is the friends in the dirt."
That could be a game that we play next time with him when we have him on. Is he can do impressions and we have to guess who it is.
Yeah, who is this? It's the friend in the dirt.
That sounds like it. This is my Samuel L. Jackson. You're gonna be like, now you're gonna go and take a left.
So I'm gonna name a celebrity, and even you just do your best impression of him.
I got it.
All right, you think of a couple too.
Okay.
All right, do Steve Buscemi.
This is Steve Buscemi.
What?
I don't tip.
You just going back to like a
shit? I broke my pen.
Bill Cosby /
This is the smallest violin for all the waitresses.
Like,
pick a celebrity for a voice for him to do.
Fran Drescher.
Oh my god! This is the smallest violin.
I don't know what he's doing. He's method, man.
We're the only ones that find this funny.
Bring it on! Give me more!
Dance, monkey, dance.
Danny Glover. I'm too old for this shit.
I'm too old for this shit.
Cookie.
Hey.
Yeah, okay. If you're doing a Bill Cosby impression, you could do that. You just did a Fat Albert.
Do Fred Durst doing Fat Albert.
Hey, gonna keep on rolling. It's just one of them days.
Let's see.
I don't know what we're doing here.
I don't either. We've lost
we gotta kill
control.
some time.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, we're going to start filming here again. I think before next podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
7 days. 7 days we're in location. And you fuckers are going to make me carry those big heavy things up the steps again.
Yes.
And
No,
I'm
we're not
gonna
going to have as much.
I'm going to
stuff.
have another asthma attack, which I haven't had like fucking 20-some years.
The thing is we're not
Hurt my
going to
back.
we're not going to carry all that equipment because we don't need it all.
Good.
We just went up there to test the space. Yeah. So
Yeah.
project number 2 is
We
in the
don't
works.
need all that
Yeah,
stuff,
so
guys.
it's- yeah. No. Yeah. This one's going to be quite a challenge. if you
It's
will.
ambitious.
It's interesting for me because this is the first thing that I haven't wrote that I'll be directing.
Right.
You wrote it and I'll be directing it.
Yeah,
And
and
Totally against it at first, but I talked him into it, so you're good there.
well, and you know what's funny? Like, I've wrote plenty in my life. I've wrote stuff for articles. I've wrote stuff for stories. I've wrote stuff that has been published. I've never wrote something that other people have acted out. And when we did our first script reading, I was like, oh my God, this is fucking terrible.
I mean, you do get that way. Like when the first time I had people read something that I wrote, I was like, I felt that same way where I was like, oh my God, this sounds like shit. These people are probably just like, this is dumb. But like you've said to me 100 times, everybody's their own worst critic.
Well, right. And I try to write dialogue like people talk. And my biggest critique of myself is I write like a story. So it's just things I was hearing were, this doesn't read like dialogue. This reads like a story. Especially the ending where I was like, I don't like the way this reads. It reads like a soliloquy and not like a parting line.
Well, and without giving too much away, part of this movie was something I told myself I would never do. And it's a certain kind of movie.
Oh, it's a genre.
Yeah,
It's a genre
I
choice.
mean, but I always said I would never do a movie like that because it has to be done the right way, and it's difficult to do. But
I think we did well with it. I think we're gonna do well with it.
And I mean, it sucks because we can't really come out and say it because it's gonna ruin them.
So we're just gonna talk more about it, and people are like, "What the fuck is it?"
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
I
talk
mean,
about politics.
We've never made gay porn before, so.
Oh, okay. You haven't made gay porn.
Gay porn.
Yeah.
You say let's talk politics?
Just
F that.
Yeah,
How
we
would
just
we
switched
talk about-
topics already. Stay with us, man. When gay porn comes up, we come up, man. Support.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gay. I'm just easily
You're just gay
manipulated.
You're just gay for porn.
Oh man, you guys.
But what are you looking forward to this next weekend besides the filming?
I hurt my back, so
Yeah, I know. And you had me chop it for some stupid ass reason.
That was the funniest thing. I'm like, okay.
I thought he was gonna massage it.
No, you don't turn around and go.
I'm like, touch
well,
my
after I just chop you on the chest, you don't turn around and go, no, do it here.
No, I said I hurt my back, and then he
You
goes,
did not
"Chop."
say.
I did,
You said, do my back.
and then I was like,
You
"Ah."
didn't say, oh, I hurt my back. You clearly said, oh, do my back.
Yeah. So that is that.
That's episode 12, ladies and gentlemen. That was a fun episode. We had David Howard Thornton, also known as Arthur Clown. Super nice guy.
Next week, I'm behind the wheel.
You are. I know you were supposed
We
to be
said that last time.
this week, but
Yeah, but we got interrupted by a horror icon,
Right.
so
which
Paco
is
got a hold
well
of
worth
this.
it.
I'm like, really?
yeah, Paco
cool.
got us that one.
Paco.
So I'm on the fence if I want to do a super soft as fuck episode or if I want to go
You had 2 weeks to figure that out.
dark and scary.
Then again, I always
Sup-
do that.
Soft as fuck or super scary.
I think we should go soft as fuck.
Soft as fuck.
You want to go? You want to go a super soft episode?
Let's do it. We don't normally do those.
We're sensitive men too, right? We
All
can be
right.
sensitive.
You want to go soft as fuck? Okay. So the movie reviews we're gonna watch is gonna be Milo and Otis.
Oh
Okay.
no, I cry every time I see that.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
Bring the waterworks.
Let's do it.
I can come up something better than Milo and Otis. I think there's a new My Little Pony movie we can watch.
Well, you know how to get a hold of me, so let me know.
Yeah, right between the legs.
Take us home, Justin.
Well, that is it. Episode 9. I totally forgot to wish David a happy early birthday. His birthday's in 2 weeks. So
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. I hope you kill lots of women for your birthday.
No impressions. No
Happy
impressions.
birthday.
Let's just ride this out. Come back in 2 weeks, guys.
Happy birthday to
This
you.
guy. That's episode 12 of the
Happy
BPT, the
birthday.
Boundless
I hope
PodTrap.
you have a good one.
Take it easy, guys.
Happy birthday.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Join us next time for more absurdity that only the guys from the Boundless PodTrap can bring you.